Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV with me, Craig Petty, and the legend himself, the one and only Matt Cluley. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, I'm good.
You excited?
Always.
You motivated? I got a trick to show you.
Okay.
It's going to be a good
Because that's
one.
never happened before.
No, but sometimes I show you tricks and I just know you're either not going to like them or it's just not going to float your boat.
Okay.
Because you can be a little bit stroppy and depressing. However...
How am I stroppy and depressing?
Yeah, just occasionally you can be a little bit like, God.
Just because I don't do cartwheels when you show me a terrible trick doesn't make me stroppy and depressing.
But I've got a trick for you now that I think
Yeah.
you're going to fucking love. I think it's going to blow your tits off. That's just a glass that
It's
I
a
got
glass
from
from
the staff room,
downstairs. Yeah.
However, I am going to make a prediction. We don't have a piece of paper. I'm going to... Oh yeah, what's on that? What's that? That looks fun. Great. Have you got a Sharpie marker somewhere? That's a pen. That's not going to work.
I don't have a Sharpie.
Okay. Don't... Ah! I got an idea. Give me your flight deck.
You're not writing on my flight deck.
I'm going to take a card out.
Oh.
That's going to be my prediction.
Just don't let him see the side of
Yeah, I
it.
was about to say.
I'm just like staring at the...
Right, I'm going to put that underneath there. That's my prediction. Okay? There you go. That's my prediction. Now, here's the thing. If I had you think of a card, psychologically, there's certain cards that people will think of. You know as well as me. A lot of people, yeah, a lot of people go to, but they do. Also, if you have someone pick a card from the deck, no matter how you have someone pick a card, there is a very good chance that you're going to be able to make them pick that card. Every single technique you can use to have someone pick a card can be used as a force. And you're very new into Magic, and I know lots of forces that you aren't even aware of because you're new into Magic. You've only been doing it for a couple of years, and I've been doing it for 30 years, and I know about 800 different forces. So because of that, if I used a pack of cards to do this, there's a very good chance I could get you to pick a card and you wouldn't even know. So we are going to use a random card generator. I got one of these off the internet. This, my friend, is a random card generator. Very simply put, what it is it has all the values here. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, and it has the 4 suits. Hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds. Now these 3 aren't used, but whatever. And you can see that it's perforated in rows and columns, yeah? Take it, and what I want you to do is tear it down the middle into 2 strips. You'll find that it tears very, very easily.
okay.
Yeah, it's perforated, so it'll go straight away. And then drop one of them down there for a minute and take the other one and tear it in half. Same thing, so you end up with 2 strips there. And then put the 2 strips on top of each other. And what I want you to do is tear them into squares and drop them in there as you tear the squares off. There we go. So what we're doing is we're creating here a situation where inside that glass we have every single card, and do the same with that. We have every single value, and we have every single suit of every single card represented inside there. Is that fair?
So far.
And I also want you to notice that I've not touched this at all. So I can't cheat in any way because I've not touched it. You have literally done everything. Is that fair? So we're going to use this to generate a card randomly. In a second, you're going to put your hand on top like that. You can put your other hand underneath, and you're going to shake up the pieces. And then you're going to tip them out onto the table, and we're going to move all of the face down ones to one side, and we're going to keep going until we've got 1 suit and 1 value, and that will be the card.
That'll be the card that you've put under there?
Yeah. Shake it. And then when you're done, tip them out. That's fine. We're going to eliminate all of the face down cards, so I'm going to get rid of that one and that one. Oh, that was that way around. Did I flip that over? Was
No, that was up. That was face up.
I'm sorry. Let me do that, and that, and that. That one goes, that one goes. So, perfect. So we've still got a bunch to go.
How the fuck does this work? There's no way.
Oh, hang on. We got that. We got that, and we got that. So they're gone. There you go. There you go. Oh, okay, still got suits. Still got 2 suits. Right, go for it. This is fair, right? Would you agree?
It appears to be.
Okay, so we're down to 2 suits and 2 values. Down to, okay, so it has to be a 7. Has to be a 7. So, go for it again. It has to be a 7 of diamonds. Would you agree with that? Would you agree? Yeah? Because it could have been literally any of these. You did this yourself. I haven't really touched anything. Don't turn it over just yet. Just
I know what it is.
Oh yeah, well,
I can see what it is.
Well, don't turn it over. You can examine all the pieces. You can do it again.
You can examine the pieces.
You could do it again if you wanted to, and see if you get the same outcome of what you want. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Put them in. Do it again. The whole point about this that I love is that people can do it again, and they'll get a different outcome, because you can leave the pieces with somebody, and you can get them to do. Oh, sorry. You can get them to do it again, and it'll be a different outcome every single time. It's got to be already different. It's got to be a heart. Do you want to keep going?
No, because it's going to be different, isn't it? I don't get it.
Did this fool the crap out of you? I think that is one of the best everyday carry tricks that I've seen in a long time. And I call it an everyday carry trick because you get, when you buy this, you get about 25 or 30 of these. And you just literally, you destroy it every time you do it. So you can put one of these in your wallet and just keep it in there. And when somebody says, hey, show me a trick, you can just bring this out. Or you could do it as a presentation in a close-up gig. You know, if you were gigging and you wanted to do something, and you could build this in. You know, this is it. But effectively what this is this is a force of the card. How you decide to use this is up to you. Jeff Prace, who created this, has a very simple PDF as the tutorial, and goes through, you know, a couple of different ideas, but in essence, it's a way of forcing a card in a very, very clean way. And I love the fact that you can just throw that. You don't have a deck of cards on you, no problem. You can throw that in your wallet. It's completely hands-off. You can make the prediction however you want to. You know, it doesn't have to involve this. You could write the prediction down. You could get someone's phone number and text it to them. You could even make the prediction part of your Instagram profile. So you could have on your description of the on Instagram, I know you'll pick the 7 of diamonds, and then you can do this, and you can have everyone go to Instagram and go have a look at.
Is it always the 7 of diamonds?
Now, that's the one negative about this. It is always the 7 of diamonds, but Jeff has said that he's going to be bringing other versions of this out with different cards as well.
Right.
But at the moment, it's just the 7 of diamonds. I think this is brilliant.
It's very clever. I don't know how it's done.
You're completely fooled, right?
I have no idea how it's done.
Yeah. It's based on a very old principle. A very, very old principle that's been around for a very long time. And one thing that Jeff Prace does, which I think is very unique in the world of magic, is on his website, Plain Sights, he every single the products that Jeff sells, you can only get from him. He doesn't wholesale them anywhere. He's the only person that sells them. And on his website, there's a tutorial section with tutorials of all of his tricks. And anyone can access all of those tutorials. You'll learn how all of his tricks are done, because he's in the belief of, if you want to learn one of my tricks, I would like you to know exactly how it works before you go out and buy it.
That's cool.
Which I think is just really, shows the sort of person that Jeff is. So I feel okay with kind of showing you how this works, because anybody who wanted to learn how this works could go onto Jeff's website and see it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Because I think when you really, what do you think about this? Because
it's very cool. The only thing that I noticed when you let me look through those is that there's now more red ones.
Nobody would ever notice that. You're looking at it like...
I'm looking specifically for things that are different. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I noticed.
No, I've done this now. I've had this for a couple of weeks, and I've done this actually 7 or 8 times in a real-world situation. Me and Ryland have filmed a review for this, for the Craig and Ryland review show, and I said I didn't think I would use this in a gig, but I think this would be the perfect everyday carry. Since saying that to Ryland, I've actually started using this in gigs, and it kills. It absolutely kills. And I've left the pieces with everybody, and that's what I love, and I just think it's great. So how it works is, this is genius. How Jeff came up with this, I don't know. It's based on a very old principle. But all of these pieces here are red-backed, like this, as you can see. All these pieces are red-backed, right? Can you see that? Mm-hmm. So all of these pieces have a red back. It's a double layer of thickness. The reason there's 2 more red ones is simply because the 7 and the diamond are actually 2 layers. They're a little bit thinner, and you can't tell, but they're actually 2 layers. And this is the 7 and the diamond here. And they're actually double-faced with a 7 and diamond on both sides. Now, what's genius about this is you tore this up yourself. When you're tearing it up, it stays together as one piece. It only separates when you start shaking them in the cup.
Right, okay.
So, in essence, what happens is, in the action of you tearing this up into pieces and dropping it into the cup, you're creating 2 double faces. So it doesn't matter how many times you do this, the 7 and the diamond are always going to be the last ones to be face up, because they are double faces. So you can do this over and over and over again, and you're always going to end up with a 7 of a diamonds every single time. Let me just go through this so you can see. Which is an old principle a few people have worked with, so we know it's going to be a diamond, so we'll put the diamond over there. But which diamond is it going to be? There's a few choices. Okay, it's going to be one of 2, a 7 or a 4. Let's do this. Oh, 7 and a 4, let's do it again. And it's kind of really interesting when you do this. You know, I've done this in gigs now a few times, and when you're doing this, it's kind of like, oh, right, okay, which one's it going to be? And you end up with the 7 of diamonds, and you say, look, you could have picked any of these, and then you just show your prediction. And the idea is, at the end, you can either get rid of these pieces, or all I did is I just pretended to put that 7 of diamonds back. So when they do it again, it's going to be a different outcome, and nobody looks through to see if the 7 of diamonds is still there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what it is. That is the random card generator by Jeff Prace. Thoughts?
Very cool.
Am I right? Would you do that?
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah, actually,
literally.
It would fit into how I perform and what I perform, and it's not a card trick as such, even though it is, really.
That's exactly what Ryland said. Ryland was like, it's a card trick, but it's not really a card trick.
Yeah, it is a card trick, but it isn't a card trick. Like, you haven't got to get a deck of cards out of your pocket. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
If you're doing like corporate gigs and stuff, there's always like an empty wine glass or an empty water glass or something on the table, so they know that there's nothing wrong with the glass. You just can't, can I buy that glass? Blah blah. Tear that up, and you could think of some. You could come up with some really cool presentational stuff for this. Yeah. I mean, literally all I did was tear it up, shake it, put it on the table. I was very much every time I've performed this, it's been very much put and take pattern. Like, right, do this now, do this now. Well, I'm always looking for stuff that I can put a different like a different presentation on. Like, I've got stuff where I'm allegedly suggesting stuff. I've got stuff where I'm allegedly reading people. I've got stuff that's allegedly hypnosis, and I do all of these different things. Whereas that would be like the disproving that random exists. Do you know what I mean? Which Darren does quite a lot, actually. But like, random isn't really random, and we can kind of predict random. I'll show you what I mean. And then you just go into some bullshit pattern while you're getting somebody to tear that up, and then all of a sudden random isn't random.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
That would actually fit into what I do.
Oh, yeah. Because my only negative that I had with it, other than the fact it's the 7 of diamonds all the time, which Jeff is fixing. There are going to be versions coming out where there's something else other than the 7 of diamonds. The only other issue I had with it is it a little bit too procedural? Now, I think for me, it might be a little bit too procedural, but I'm making it work. But for you, I think the fact that there's quite a lot of procedure in terms of getting down to that card would necessarily be a good thing, because it gives you more time to
waffly bollocks.
Waffly bollocks, exactly. Yeah. I've been playing around with using this for an A-can. Of course he fucking has. As an A-can.
As long as that any card is the 7 of diamonds.
Well, yeah, but it feels like they could name any card, right? Which is the beautiful thing about this. So, yeah, I've been messing around with using this as an A-can. So I force the 7 of diamonds, and then what I do is I just say take a couple of. So I've been playing around with a marking for anybody who's got this. I've been playing around with a marking system using red Sharpie on the back of these, but just on the numbers. So I've been putting Sharpie dots. Top left corner is ace, top middle is 2, top right is 3, top middle left is 4, center is 5, right, center right is 6, 7 I don't have to worry about, 8 is lower left, 9 is lower center, and 10 is lower right. So I can mark all of the numbers, right? So what I do is, once I've forced the 7 of diamonds, I tell them to turn all the pieces over, and I say, let's take out the numbers. So I just take out the numbers and I put the rest away. And I have them shake them and turn them face down and mix them up face down. But I obviously, and I've got the 7 of diamonds set up in the 34th position. So I just need to keep track of 34. So I then use a simple equivoke. I make sure the 3 and the 4 are on the same side. And I go, right, you've mixed all these up. What we'll do, push half of them to one side. And I'm not going to go into equivoke now, but I go into equivoke where they end up with the 3 and the 4, which is a lot easier to do because I've only got 9 things. So I forced the 3 and the 4, and I'm like, okay, so you could have ended up with any of these numbers. We've ended up with 34. If you picked these, it would have been 51. If you picked these, it could have been 13. It could have been 20. So they end up with 34, and then I've given them the deck from the very beginning, and I'm like, so using this card, we created the 7 of diamonds, we created 34, deal down to the 34th card, and when they get to the 34th card, that's their card, and I've set it up so every other card in the pack is blank. So all the cards are blank except for the 34th card, which is the 7 of diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, if you've got that, a really cool way of doing it. But there you go. So what do you think?
I really like it.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I'd do it.
Okay. So what are you going to give it as a percentage? I mean, I've already given it a percentage, 100%. I think it's brilliant.
I mean, I haven't seen the tutorial or anything.
It's a PDF.
Okay.
There's like 2 pages just explaining how to do this.
Yeah, I can't. Other than the fact that it's the same one every time, so you wouldn't be able to do it multiple times at a close-up gig. You'd only be able to do it once per gig. Same with the corporate function, you'd only be able to do it once per function, because you can't just table hop and just do the 7 of fucking diamonds every time.
Which is an issue that Jeff is fixing. I mean,
okay, so I can't give it 100% because as a close-up magician, as a gig, looking at it as a gigging magician, buying a trick and spending the time to learn a trick to then only be able to do it once per gig is not like.
I think that you could do something like this more than once a gig at a corporate. At a wedding, I get your point, because like people know each other, but at a corporate, most people on each table aren't talking to each other, they don't know each other, and if they are, they're not probably going to say, hey, did you see the trick with the card that the magician tore up into pieces? What card did you pick? 7 of diamonds. So did I. Fucking charlatan. I don't think it's an issue at a corporate gig.
I mean, maybe the way that I present it, not so much, but people would ask you to do it with a different card. If you did it multiple times with the same card, people will go do it differently. They just do. In my experience. But if he's bringing out other ones where you can have different outcomes, that would be wonderful. So I think for now, I'll give it 95.
Yeah.
If and when he comes out where you can have multiple outcomes, then it'd go to 100.
And I think if Jeff is watching this, I think this concept I've never seen before. This concept has legs. What I mean by that, imagine doing one of these with different superhero logos. You've got Batman,
Oh
Superman.
God, here we go.
No, yeah, imagine you've got, this is your superhero, random superhero picker. And it forces just one.
Give it 3.5 days. There's going to be a Halloween version, a Christmas version, a superhero version.
I just think, there's so many magicians that do things with celebrities. What about having little celebrity faces to force Tom Cruise or something?
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt,
exactly.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, exactly. There's like so many different things you can do with this beyond just playing cards.
Let's give it Phil Smith, see what he comes back with as well. While we're at it.
I think this is great. I think that this is something that Jeff needs to expand on even more, and I love this. So
I do like it.
Yeah.
Once there's more outcomes,
yeah, you can have one.
I'll like it more. Oh, thanks.
No problem. You can only use it once.
Yeah. I'll save it for a special occasion.
There you go. Thanks very much for joining me and Stroppy Knickers with another.
How am I
test.
stroppy?
You really are. With another Matt test. But we will be back again next week where Matt will sit here looking like a manic depressive. Until then, thank you. What?
How am I?
Until then, thank you very much. But why don't you smile and say bye?
Bye.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be back next week. Thanks for watching. I'm Craig. He's Matt. Bye, everyone.